Hey there, I'm Coach Michael Burt, the Super Coach. Every week I come into your life, really do three things, guys. I want to multiply your life. I want to multiply your money. And man, I want to multiply that business. And in March of this year, March 18, I have an incredible day coming up called Fanatical Follow-Up with Coach Michael Burt. And I'm going to teach you the science of follow-up. I'm going to teach you how to make millions of dollars of follow-up. I'm going to teach you to follow up before, during, and after the sale. So on today's Super Coach, which you can now get across every stream of podcast mania you can find, right, Jack? Okay, I'm gonna help you understand why the follow-up is so friggin' important, man. Why you have to have this fanatical follow-up. And then I'm going to come back March 18th. You can spend the day with me, get your whole team on it, and we're going to help you follow up. So I want to plant a seed in today's Super Coach that an object at rest will stay at rest unless acted on by an outside force. You have to become that force. And on today's show, I'm going to tell you exactly why. Why the fanatical follow-up. I'm Coach Michael Burt, live at the Greatness Factory.
Everybody needs a coach in life. Coaching businesses and entrepreneurs like you to spike an additional 40% to your bottom line. Michael Burt is a multi-championship coach, best-selling author, trainer, motivator, and all-around super coach. Now, from the Greatness Factory Studios, this is Super Coach.
Welcome to Super Coach, Coach Michael Burt. Look who's all. Let's see who showed up today. Brian White, man, that dude is showing up for everything, Jack. He was on my Clubhouse this morning. I'm doing Clubhouse now. Listen, I was doing Clubhouse on the way in, and I'm such a novice to it. Brad Lee wants me to come on there like every day with him, and I didn't even know. Like, I just started a Clubhouse room without even a title. But I'm going to be doing more of that. So thank you, Brian White, as I'm looking at people that are out there. Eric White, John Dalton, Daniel Hodges, man, that dude's a monster. Freddie Blanton, Casey Peterson. That's what I like to see, Casey. Look forward to seeing you. I just came off 4 back-to-back days, folks. Okay, I did Person of Interest last week, and it was incredible. At least I think so. But, hey, I'm biased. And then I came back and did 2 days with Cody Askins on selling and closing mastery. And Cody and I are doing, we're going to do something in Seaside. Working on some new digs down there. Can't tell you about it yet. Don't have it across the finish line. Knock on wood that we could pull it off. But when you see this place that I'm looking at, you will want to come to Seaside with me and my family and my team to do something with me. So Cody and I are doing something in Seaside May 26th through the 29th or 30th or something like that. And then I'm doing something down there. I'm doing couples retreats down there. I'm doing all kinds of things down there. So if you're interested, man, just reach out to me, coach@coachburt.com. Say, I want to do something at your Seaside house. I'm doing Explanation of Service Mastery tomorrow if you're interested in that. But the big thing we're talking about today, folks, is we're talking about follow-up. So simple, yet so complicated, right? It's simple, but it ain't easy. It takes effort. It takes push. And so today on today's show, I'm kind of gearing you up. Next Tuesday night, I'm doing a webinar on follow-up, right? And the fanatical follow-up. And then the 18th, this will be great for you and your teams on the science of follow-up. I want to give you some stats to help you understand why the fanatical follow-up. I want to tell you, I want to make a case for why this is such a big deal. Number one, if you're like me, you're moving at a very rapid pace. You wake up in the morning, you have goals, you have dreams, you have family members, you have problems, you have drama, you have excitement. You wake up in the morning, you take an action like you move towards something, right? But then, man, you forget that there's opportunity here. Like Jack just said something about Doc Hotze. Man, I need to be following up with Doc Hotze. That dude introduced me to millions of dollars. Tony Barnes on my team said, man, why ain't you doing a 2-day boot camp for pastors on your book, The Accountable Church? Great idea. Oh, you wrote the book, Single Digit Millionaire. Why are you not helping people with their money? It's like, man, there's so many things that golly, to follow up on. See, I used to think follow up, Jack, was about just on direct leads, like people that were interested in your product or service. You need to follow up on to get meetings. You need to follow up to get in front of people. You need to follow up to explain your value. You need to follow up to close a deal. And then you need to follow up some more to get more deals. But now, folks, I have now stepped back and broadened my scope of follow-up. Follow-up is not only on direct leads. Follow-up is on opportunity. Like I've been talking about for a year or 2 years about having a call center, right? And now I've got a little call center expert in here with other call center people, with Eric White. It's like I had an idea. The pray drive is I need to act on the idea. The follow-up is I need to learn to follow up. And the fanatical follow-up is, man, it ain't happening unless you follow up. So today's show is built on one premise, man. Newton's law. An object at rest will stay at rest unless acted on by a freaking outside force. Folks, you have got to be the outside force. Jack brings me an idea that can make money. That's good. But unless he brings the idea back to me and puts it back in front of my face again and back in front of my face again, back in front of my face again, right? Because why? Because we live in such a distracted world. I could see you, want to do business with you, right? Get busy, get sidetracked, get distracted. That word means to pull apart. And I'm just going on about my life, man, missing out on all this opportunity because we didn't follow up with each other. And so follow up is, hey, I have an idea. I can either solve a problem for you, or I'd like to present you with the money generating idea, right? I can see, okay? I could see an idea with you, Charlie, okay? And I can present an idea to you, and you could say, I love it, but nothing ever happens. The question becomes, why don't it happen? Because we're busy, we're distracted. Like 18 books ago, I wrote a book called Zebras and Cheetahs, and in that book, I used a term called the current of the urgent. We're in the current. Everything's urgent. I got 7 minutes for you here. I get to see my kids for 6 minutes here. I get to watch 8 minutes of television at night. I get to, right? Like I'm so busy swimming downstream, man, or being just rolled down the stream, Jim, that it's like, man, I'm just rolling. If you don't get in the boat with me and add some value to my life, with a flow and a frequency, then your idea is lost. And here's what happens, folks, you never monetize it. As I'm talking about this, so I'm making a case today for why the fanatic follow-up. Why do you have to be so fanatical about this? It is because the world we're living in, there's an oversaturation of content, of material, right, of options. And if you don't stay in somebody's face, they've already forgotten about you. I saw you on Saturday. I liked you. I thought you were good. We had chemistry. But man, you lost my attention. You had my attention and you lost my attention. I'm thinking about people right now that had my attention at one point and then they lost it. They had it and then they lost it. They had it and then they done lost it. And this is why this is so critical. Now, I'm going to give you some stats. And on this day, March 18th, I'm going to get into the science. So basically on March 18th, it's a one day with me virtual summit. I'm going to do it live like a PBS special, Jack. Nice. At the lodge. I'm putting 30 people in the room with me, 30 of my top producers, Jason Wheeler, 30 people who want to get in and be in the room with me for a day on follow-up. We're going to build out a system to get a person's attention because that's the number one problem people have today. We're going to pull in a little person of interest. I'm going to pull in some interest. I'm going to help you, right? Explain your value. I'm going to show you every tactic to get a person's attention, number one. Then I'm going to show you that day, March 18th, how to keep their attention because a deal is not a deal until we have a signed contract and some money. Folks, I've had people sign contracts to me and say, whoop, forgot the money, coach. It ain't a contract if they don't have any money, folks. I can sign up today and say, I'm in. We had a little dude in Dallas sign up a few weeks ago, saw me, said, man, I signed up. I'd like to start, but hey, life happened to me, man. Shift happens to me. Okay? Sure it does, man. It happens to everybody. Oh, I had the money, but now I don't have the money. Well, no, what you don't have is the interest. You can find the money, folks, if you got the interest. So I'm going to show you how to keep a deal going till you have a signed contract and money, a transfer money, and I'm going to show you how to extract referrals after the deal. Because what you really need is to engage. Like, I've got 650 business owners. We're signing, I think we signed up 5 more today, Jack. We're opening up new associations every day. We're opening up freaking greatness factories everywhere, folks. And here's the deal. All those people need to be followed up with. All of them. So now we got Mark Schaefer down there calling every customer we have. Every boot camp person is getting a follow-up. Every person that come to country nights at the lodge is getting a follow-up. Folks, I believe in the freaking follow-up. And apparently I've sold out of the $1 Million follow-up books because I can't even find them here in my office. So apparently somebody's buying them, Jason Wheeler. This is why we have to follow. Let me give you some stats, and we'll take a break, and I'm going to come back. And then we're going. Number 1, purpose of the follow-up. Every stat in the world tells me it takes 7 to 15 touches, 80% of the time, to convert a prospect to a client. Okay? Less than 9% of people remember their salesperson's name. What's the likelihood of them buying something else if they don't even remember your name? Okay? Number 2, no, right? Just think about it, okay? 98, listen to this, folks. 98% of people never call a customer back once they have made the transaction. Now, let's stop here for a second. Let's delineate between a customer and a client. McDonald's has customers. It's transaction-based. Get your chicken and biscuit, some sweet tea, roll on down the line, right? Thank you. Boom. Thank you. Transaction, folks. The word transact means to discard. It means I don't need you anymore. Got my chicken and biscuit. I can get up out of here. Client is where you have a fiduciary responsibility to give the client what they need, not always what they want. Guy wants me to come in and speak for an hour? Good. I can do that for you, but what you need is 6 months of me coaching your people. That's what you need. That's my fiduciary responsibility. My job is to keep following up. The guy asked me to speak last week. I followed up with him 7 times. Okay? And finally today he says, Coach, I'm sorry I hadn't followed back up with you. We do want to do something, but we moved it to April. Well, great. Man, I can find a date in April, especially if it's in Miami. I can always find a date for Miami, Jack. Or West Palm Beach. So my point to you folks is you have got to stay in people's freaking faces. Right now I'm talking about this. You should be making a list of red zone opportunities, people that are in your red zone that have shown interest, that want to do something with you that you haven't closed. You should be, as soon as we get off this, you should be following them. You should be following up with them. You should be making a list right now of all your Blue Marlins, big people that you need to be doing something with. They're out there. You should be making a list. Like right now while I'm talking, I'm making a list while I'm on here with you. Right? You should be making a list right now, folks, of all of the people that you need to be doing something with right now as we're speaking, right? I'm sitting here doing it right now, man. New notes, putting in my notes section people that I didn't even have on my list today to follow up with that I need to follow up with, right? Just making my list, man, of Blue Marlin opportunities, of people we need to be doing business with. Those 2 right there are worth a couple $100,000, Jack. This is crazy. Why do I do this show, folks? I'm not only doing it for you, I'm doing it for me. Reboot. Man, that's good right there. So why are we follow up, folks? Because so much opportunity is lost. Because 98% of people never follow up after the transaction. 7 to 15 touches 80% of the time. And each transaction should be worth 4 to 6 referrals. And if that don't give you a reason to follow up, folks, then what are you doing, man? The fortune is in the follow-up. So Eric White's going to be posting in the links today. Come get your whole sales team. Spend a day building the 7-touch follow-up. Spend a day with me working out the whole 7-touch before, during, and after on March 18th. We're going to break. When I come back, I'm going to show you the purpose. There's 4 purposes of the follow-up. When we come back, I'm going to show you exactly what they are. I'm Coach Michael Burt. I'm live at the Greatness Factory, and you are watching Super Coach. I'm Coach Michael Burt. I just finished a session on the explanation of service, and this is such a big concept. It's really a clarifying journey to get clear on what you believe, why you believe it, what you do, why you do it, how you do it different than other people, who you've done it for. It's a game changer. And today I wanted to drive home to my monster producer, the Monster Nation, that you don't want to do business with other people that don't believe the same things you do. It will create conflict and heartache in your life. Spend the time on the front end getting clear on what you believe, what they believe, why you believe it, what you do as a result. And know this, you're only looking for people that are looking for you. You don't have to convince and manipulate. Go out into the marketplace, share what you believe, and see who believes it too. That's who you want to do business with. Welcome back to Super Coach. A little podcast I do every week, folks. You can get it on where? Jack, where can they get this podcast? Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google. Folks, it don't matter. You got a computer. If you're in the 21st century, go to podcasts, search Coach Michael Burt. It's under America's Coach. All of my podcasts are under America's Coach. We're working on interviews with Rob O'Neill, the Navy SEAL, shot bin Laden. We're working on, I got a couple billionaires I would like to interview here pretty soon. Working on a way for me to interview some folks out on the West Coast. I'm going to be in Scottsdale this week. Forget that cold weather, folks. I'm out. Coach is going to Scottsdale on Wednesday. I'm doing a real estate event on Thursday. I'm doing a big Optavia event Thursday night. I'm doing 1,600 coaches Friday night. I'm doing me and Sharon Lecter Friday and Saturday. Man, I need to get some rest for this, Jack. 4 back-to-back days. Ridiculous, folks. These people working me to death. Eric White is working me to death. Just ride me like a mule. But I sing the songs, Jack. I show up and I sing the songs and I deliver. And let me tell you, one of the concepts I teach, which is just one part of 6, I've got a whole selling system, a whole growth system called Monster Growth. If you're looking at a boot camp to go to, the Monster Growth boot camp would be a good one. That one's out at the Lodge. I'm working on events with Marshall Silver. That's right, Irresistible Influence, Brad Lee. Man, just all kinds of people. Cody Askins, we're talking about doing a couples retreat for insurance couples. Who knows, man? Who knows, Jack? I could do an event every day, 365 days a year with somebody. But it's all about follow-up, man. It's all about follow-up. So if you're out there and you got this idea and you want to present an idea to another person, the idea is only as valuable as your ability to get another person's attention. It's only as valuable as your ability to show up and deliver over and over and over. And here's the deal. Get and keep people's attention. Never underestimate. I'm reading these comments right here. Daniel Hodges. Never underestimate the need to re-enthuse people every day. Never underestimate the need to get people excited over and over and over again. Never underestimate the need to keep an idea in front of another person's face. Jack, I've looked at doing multi-million-dollar real estate deals, and I still can't get people to follow up with me. Isn't that crazy? Here's what happens, man. Life comes at you fast. And once it comes at you fast, man, you get sidetracked, you get over in left field, you get distracted. That word means to pull apart. So let me give you 4 reasons, 4 purposes of the follow-up, okay? Now, remember, all this is gearing up toward March 18th, telethon, Jerry Lewis, baby. We're going to do telethon, phone calls. Jack, we're going to work that night till 10 o'clock, so I'm going to do a full day at the Lodge. I'm going to have 20 to 25 to 30 people in the room. If you want to be in the room with me, those are complimentary seats for my biggest Monster Militia people. And then we're going to sell it to 300 people at $57 a person. Then we're going to try to get in there, and we're going to offer some big package on the back end to do something big with me in 2021. The purpose of the follow-up, and I'm going to break down the science of follow-up, man. If you got sales teams, this will be incredible for your sales teams, your sales managers. The purpose of the follow-up is to rekindle the initial attraction. The purpose of the follow-up is you had energy, you had chemistry, you met a person, there was something going on there. It felt good, but you didn't follow up. All you're doing is following up to connect with people, folks. You don't know where the opportunity is. The opportunity comes after you initiate, you disarm, you locate a problem, and you offer a compelling solution. That's where the follow-up is. You either solve a problem or you present an opportunity to another person. That's where the follow-up comes in, right? Now, here's the point. So the first purpose of the follow-up is to rekindle this attraction. The second purpose of the follow-up is to articulate how you can solve a problem for another person, right, Adam Milan? The second purpose of the follow-up is to say, man, you got a problem, and I have a compelling solution to that problem. Somebody came to me and said, Coach, I can sell out every one of your boot camps, sell your course online for $30,000, make $30,000 a month in online courses, put people in the seats every time you do an event, right? You got to keep following up with me, man, because there's so much noise in the world. So the purpose of the follow-up is to show me how you can solve a problem. Purpose of the follow-up number 3 is to make the person stop and think. Out of everything they could do, why should they do this? Right? Go back and read the Challenger sale. Show them the problem and solution. Out of everything you could do, this is why this is the next big move you need to make. Okay? This is the next big move you need to make. And the fourth purpose of the follow-up is to challenge the prospect. Like, you're going down this path, man, and I know you're doing good, but you could be doing so much better if you just knew this one thing, right? Like, and I tell people we could have this talk today or we could have it 6 months from today, right? We can have this talk today or we could have it 6 months from today, but nothing's going to change until you change it. The purpose of the follow-up, rekindle, articulate how you can solve a problem, make them think, or challenge them. Now, I'm not going to go into more detail on this today. Today, I'm telling you why you got to do it. I'm telling you to purchase the 1 day with me in the room. I'm going to get 300 people on my virtual, and we're going to solve this follow-up problem. Folks, this is costing you millions of dollars. The people I wrote down today that weren't even on my list when I came into the day. My goodness, I sat down last night. I mapped out my whole list. If I just did half of these things, then we're going to produce money. If I just did 1/10 of these things, you're going to produce money. So I want to encourage you. March 18th, it's coming up in a few weeks. Full day with me, fanatical follow-up. This is not just about effort. Some of you follow up like crazy. Like, I got a little dude following up with me right now. It's not that I don't need what he has. He just hasn't been able to articulate how it turns into money. How does this solve a real problem for me? How does this produce real revenue? How does this produce real money? Okay? And that is the purpose of the follow-up. So every single week I come into your life, guys, to do 3 things. I want to multiply your life, accelerate. Multiply your money. We got to get your money right. And we got to multiply your business. And if I can do that, what would keep me from coaching you, right? What would keep me from being your coaching monster producer, from being your coach a day, for helping you? You know, we got Brian White on here. He said his income jumped significantly from being in my coaching program. Like, that's what happens when you have a good coach, man. Your follow-up gets better. Your explanation of value gets better. Your explanation of service, your selling system gets better. Your referrals go up. You have a focus and an intensity like you can't imagine. I'm Coach Michael Burt. I'm the Super Coach. I'm going to be seeing you soon, folks. Let's get up. Let's get rolling. Everybody needs a coach in life. Thank you for letting me be yours. Over the last 15 to 20 years, I've coached thousands of business people. I have determined that there are 6 big missing structures. They do not have the prey drive activated, which means they've got into a static position, bored, complacent, in a rut. They just don't have the get up and go. And so there's a constant cycle of activating and reactivating your drive to want to go out there and make sales calls and grow and expand, and that can go dormant. It typically becomes dormant when you have some level of success and you get comfortable. And once you get comfortable, right, so that's a big missing structure. I also believe a missing structure is an explanation of service, which is what we're going to talk about today. You do not have a world-class way to explain your value.